Hi guys, my name is Alison, and this is the story of my life with my stepdaughter Lizzy. I married my husband Vince after I got out of an abusive relationship. He was widowed with a 4-year-old child. I don't exaggerate it when I say that I loved both Vince and his child equally. Yes, Lizzy quickly became like my own daughter, and filled a hole in my heart. I am an infertile woman, so having Lizzy was like receiving a blessing from heaven. Vince and I had a great marriage in the years that followed, but Lizzy stopped being affectionate or close to me. Since her teens, she started to lash out after me and call me names. Apparently she didn't want a stepmother, and only her late biological mum mattered to her. She even begged Vince to divorce me at times. We all went to therapy and things got slightly better, but it was just a farce. Turns out Lizzy needed more money for college, so she acted like she was back to her loving self. As soon as she finished college, her behaviour changed again. She didn't want to talk to me or even meet me. Yet she didn't shy away from asking me for money when she needed it. Out of the blue one day she said that she was engaged. We knew she was dating someone who paid for most of her things. No, she didn't work. Lizzy never even brought her fiancé, David, around us, so we had no idea that they were serious. Anyway, we were happy for her and started to help her with the wedding preparations. I was so happy to see her get married that I paid for her dress, flowers, and wedding cake. The rest was being paid by David. And trust me, guys, I couldn't hold my excitement. She was my daughter, or at least that's what I thought. However, I had no idea that the girl I raised for 24 years would betray me. One day, while we were discussing the wedding, I said, "I am so excited for your wedding, Lizzy. My little girl is finally getting married. You don't know how happy I am. You need to tell me what I should be wearing. I need to go shopping for the right dress." "Why are you so excited for my wedding, Alison? Why do you even need a dress? I just don't get it. You're not coming to the wedding. I didn't invite you. Where are you getting these ideas?" "What are you talking about, Lizzy? Are you telling me that I am not invited to your wedding? I already told you, Alison, my wedding is for family and friends only. Don't come to my wedding because you are not family. I get it that you are paying for the wedding, but I deserve it anyway. Your money is also my dad's money, so I have full right over it. You're not doing me a favor by paying for stuff." "I never said that I was doing you a favor, Lizzy. I have been your parent for more than 20 years. It's been 24 years to be exact. Yes, after raising you for so many years, I thought you would consider me to be family. I've told you many times already, Alison. I don't care how long you have raised me. You are not my biological mother, so you are not family. Step-parents can never be family. At least not in my book. Now, since my wedding is not open to just anyone, I'm not inviting you to it." I was shocked to hear Lizzy just dismiss me like that. Never in a million years did I think that Lizzy wouldn't invite me to her own wedding. I know she never really saw me as her mother. I didn't ever push her to accept me as her mum. I simply loved her in a way and took care of her as my own daughter. She was never the stepdaughter to me. She was always my little girl Lizzy. My daughter who was sent by God. For 24 years I spent my time, energy and money on her, but that day she told me that I meant nothing to her. I was simply a stranger or an acquaintance who didn't even deserve a seat at her wedding. Vince saw and heard what Lizzy said. He was dumbfounded to hear what his own daughter said about me. All these years, he always told me to look past her bad behaviour and embrace her as my own. I did just that. I guess he always hoped that his daughter would change and finally see me as family, if not her mother. When Lizzy made herself clear that day, he was devastated for me. He was furious at Lizzy. He said, "Lizzy, how dare you insult Alison like that? This woman has raised you for 24 years and took care of all your needs. Today you are saying that she's not even family? How can you be so cruel?" "I didn't say anything wrong, Dad. Alison is not family to me. As I said, only biological families are real families. She's nothing but a stand-in for my dead mom. Also, she should have taken care of me. Me and you were a package deal. She doesn't have her own child to spend money on anyway. I mean, it's not like she would ever have biological children. Maybe that's why she doesn't get it." Wow, Lizzy. So now I have to hear you make fun of me being infertile. That's a low blow for you, Lizzy. I never pushed you for anything in love. You like my own. And this is how you repay me? You need to stop making everything about you, Alison. This is my wedding. This is about me. Only my choices matter here. I don't care what you think. Now stop spoiling my wedding and with your entitled and selfish behaviour. You are the one acting selfish and entitled, Lizzy. Alison has all the right to be hurt. You can't talk to her like that. We didn't raise you to be such a terrible girl. What is wrong with you? No, what is wrong with you, Dad? She's encouraging you to speak against me. You are defending her instead of taking my side? If you're so concerned about her not coming, you can stay away from the wedding as well. Lizzy started to cry and ran out the door. By the time she left, I already had tears in my eyes from her words. Vince was again left speechless over what Lizzy did and said. He honestly didn't know what to do. I could understand his tough position and said, Vince, you don't have to fight with Lizzy for me. It was my fault for thinking she would accept me. Don't get yourself uninvited because of me. Don't worry about that, Alison. I'm not sure what I should be doing. On the one hand, Lizzy is my daughter and I want to attend her wedding, but on the other hand, the way she talked about you was absolutely horrible. She had no right to be this cruel. She took full advantage of you and used you for her own needs. Now when it's time for her to accept you as family, she doesn't even invite you to her own wedding. Look, Vince, I've tried to be here for Lizzy for 24 years. With every passing year, my heart broke a little from her behaviour towards me. She led me on and used me because I had money. I can see that now. I don't want to go to her wedding anymore. But I will tell you to make your own decision. You do what you think is best. I won't be mad at you. I didn't want Vince to lose out on Lizzy's wedding because of me. I didn't want him to blame that on me, so I let Vince make a decision. I was already planning to cancel the things I paid for when Lizzy started to text me. She said, You're a really big attention-seeking witch. You think just because you stole my dad from me, you have every right to be my mum? Well, you are wrong. God never meant to make you a mother, so you never will be. You must be delusional to think you would ever become my mother. Not every woman who carries a child can be a mother. Just because someone didn't carry a child doesn't mean they can't be called a mother. You are too immature to understand that. Forget about me, Lizzy. You hurt your dad by threatening him today. Dad needed that from me. I know he can never stay away from his princess. He'll come back begging for forgiveness once he realizes his mistake. I was only threatening him so that he would stop being on your side. It's frickin' irritating to see Dad speak for you that too about my wedding. He needed to be taught a lesson. Just wait till he leaves you at home and attends my wedding. That would be a lesson for you. You are willing to destroy your relationship with your father just to teach me a lesson. Why are you being so cruel? This is my wedding and I'll do whatever I want. I don't care if no one comes to my wedding. Things have to be exactly how I want it to be, and I don't want a stepmother like you to spoil my day. At that point I stopped texting. I was fuming with anger. All the love I had for this girl was slowly disappearing. Her betrayal hurt a lot. She excluded me from her wedding, but didn't even tell me to stop paying for things. Never once did she mention that she didn't want her stepmother's money. I knew that she had gone too far in threatening and manipulating us, so I made a decision. This girl needed to learn some manners. I went to Vince and showed him the texts. He was very angry and couldn't believe Lizzy's audacity. He said, There is no way I'm going to her wedding after this. She thinks she can do whatever she wants because we love her and won't scold her. Well, she is wrong. I don't want to attend her wedding either, Vince. In fact, I don't think I ever want to talk to her again. I won't cancel all the bookings I made, but I also won't continue this relationship anymore. I deserve more respect and refuse to be her ATM. I will never ask you to continue this relationship, Alison. Lizzy has gone too far. She needs to understand that we won't put up with her behaviour anymore, but there is one thing that concerns me. People will ask questions when we don't show up. Some might even drop out of the wedding if they know the truth. I know, Vince. That is exactly why we won't hide anything from them. Whoever asks us what went wrong, we will tell them the truth. Then they can make their own decisions to attend. Vince agreed to my plan. In my head, I knew that many people would drop out of the wedding when they knew the truth. But I didn't care about it. I wanted everyone to see what an ungrateful and selfish woman Lizzy is. She only wanted her biological family at her wedding, Now, I was curious to see how many people from her biological family actually took her side and supported her nasty attitude. As planned, Vince and I told everyone about what Lizzy had done. Every time someone excitedly asked us for details about the wedding, we told them the truth. We told them how Lizzy didn't consider me family and told me to stay away. We also mentioned how Lizzy uninvited her own dad when he defended me against her bad behaviour. Everyone was shocked to know the truth. The news spread like rapid fire and everyone was furious with Lizzy. Many people in the family grew up with step-parents and step-siblings, so they were hurt by Lizzy's sentiment. Surprisingly, a few people talked to Lizzy about inviting me and asking for forgiveness. After she screamed at them too, they stopped. Instead, everyone made a plan of their own. No one from her biological family wanted to attend her wedding. Some of her friends who heard the entire issue also dropped out. They knew me all their lives and couldn't believe how cruel Lizzy was being. Apparently, Lizzy screamed and yelled at anyone who tried to put some sense into her. They got fed up and told them that they wouldn't come. Lizzy thought everyone was bluffing. On the day of her wedding, Lizzy realized that no one was bluffing. No one from her guests showed up except her bridesmaids. One of her friends called me and said that Lizzy was panicking and begging people to come. Everyone told her off and said they would join the reception, but only if me and Vince are present. When Lizzy saw that she was backed into a corner, she was forced to call me and said, Alison, you should come to the wedding. I've changed my mind. You have been there for me for a long time and I want you there. The wedding hasn't begun yet, so you can still attend. What happened, Lizzy? Why this sudden change of mind? It's hard to believe you suddenly realized my worth today. Look, Alison, because of you and Dad, no one showed up from my side. People on David's side are already talking. I don't want any more drama. Everyone said they would attend if you and Dad came. Ah, so that's the reason. I see. You didn't have a change of heart after all. You simply don't want others to think ill of you. Stop being such a witch, Alison. You've already destroyed my wedding. The least you can do is show up. You're ruining everything. You wanted an invitation, right? Here it is. Now stop the drama and come. I don't need your forced invitation, Lizzy. If I wanted to destroy your wedding, I would have cancelled everything I paid for. I didn't do that. I simply told people the truth when they asked. It was their decision to boycott the wedding after you behaved like shit with them over this issue. As for the invite, I reject it. I am not coming.
Count me out as well, Lizzy. I can see that even today you haven't changed your attitude even once. All these years and I defended you and supported you, but not anymore. Today, I will stand with my wife.
Lizzy started to freak out when we said that. She started to cry and begged us to attend. Suddenly, her entire demeanour changed. I suspected that there was something she wasn't telling us. She said, Guys, please don't do this. Don't ruin my special day. I'm marrying my dream man today. I've been humiliated enough already. No one knows why people from my side are still not here yet. You need to show up and help save my face.
Absolutely not, Lizzy. You are responsible for destroying your reputation. You did something so horrible that everyone boycotted your wedding. These consequences are yours alone. We don't want any part of it.
It's funny that you now want us to help you save face. Suddenly you want us at your wedding. We know that tomorrow you will go back to your horrible attitude again, so no! We won't be coming so that you can act like you consider us family. I said that and hung up on her. She called me back and sent us a bunch of texts begging us to come. Each text was getting more and more frantic. Around 45 minutes before we got another call on our phones, I checked the caller ID to see that it was from an unknown number. When I picked it up, I realised it was David. He said,
Hello, Alison and Vince. I'm David, Lizzy's fiancé. I'm so sorry this is how we talked for the first time. It's just that I'm a little confused. No one from Lizzy's guest list showed up. I just got to know it now. What is going on? Why are you guys not here?
We are not there for 2 reasons, David. Alison didn't invite me and she disinvited Vince when he tried to defend me.
What? Lizzy didn't invite you? But why? You two are her parents. There's no reason why she didn't invite you. She didn't even tell me about this. What happened? I'm so confused.
Vince and I told David the full story. We didn't want to hide anything from him.
I always believed in telling the truth no matter how hard the situation is, and I did it here too. David needed to know just how vile his fiancée was. If he sided with her, he would know that Lizzy found her perfect man, but David didn't support Lizzy at all. Instead, he sounded furious. He said, "Oh my God, I had no idea Lizzy was such a selfish and cruel woman. What she did to you two is horrible. I can't even imagine she could be like that. I don't even know if I want to go through with the wedding anymore. She just doesn't consider me family, David. That doesn't mean she is a bad partner. If you're happy with her, that is what matters. We simply told you what happened because you asked." "You did the right thing, guys. Trust me, it's not about how she is a partner. I guess she didn't tell you that I have a daughter from my previous marriage. Seeing how she didn't even tell you about her is giving me red flags. Knowing that she doesn't consider stepfamilies good enough, I'm afraid of how she'll be with my daughter." David told us how he has a 5-year-old daughter whose mother is not in the picture anymore. Lizzy didn't have much interaction with her, but promised David that she would be a good mother. Now, hearing everything, David is starting to doubt her words. He wasn't sure he wanted to marry someone who openly hated her stepmother and didn't consider her family. He thanked us for letting him know the truth. Then he hung up. Vince and I could tell that he was about to do something dramatic. Within an hour, Vince and I got a call from Lizzy again. This time we picked up because her texts were getting unhinged. After we picked up her call, we could tell that Lizzy was crying. Through her tears, she said, "Dad! Alison! Please come here fast! David found out why I didn't invite Alison. He now thinks he's making a mistake by marrying me. He has a daughter, so he thinks I'll be a bad stepmother. Please come and convince him otherwise." "Why would we do that, Lizzy? I married Alison because I knew she would take care of you like her daughter. If I were in David's place, I would have fought the marriage too." "Dad, please don't say that. I love David and I can't be without him. I'm begging you for help. Please come to the wedding. Alison, please convince Dad and David. I know they will listen to you. You don't get to ask me for favors when you clearly don't love me or even consider me family. David is making the right decision. There is no way I will willingly support a marriage where I know a poor child will be hurt. So no, Lizzy, we won't come to your wedding. You can convince David yourself." We found out that day that David cancelled the entire wedding. The guests didn't even stay for their food, and it was donated to the local shelter. Lizzy sat in her ridiculously expensive wedding dress and cried her eyes out. Her bridesmaids did their best to support her, but even they were annoyed with Lizzy. In the end, she was left at the altar and the relationship was over. Lizzy tried to contact me and her dad after everything. David was furious at her and didn't want her in his life again. He kicked her out of his home and told her not to contact him again. Lizzy has already given up her lease because she thought she would be staying with her husband. Of course, that didn't happen. So she was homeless and needed help. Lizzy didn't work and mostly relied on David or us for money. When all her sources of money were gone, she was forced to take a job at Walmart. She regularly calls up and cries about how she needs us. We ignored her as usual. Vince and I are trying to live a peaceful life now that we don't have to worry about Lizzy anymore.